Hey everybody, welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I am here with Santino. What's up?
Hey, dude, nothing much.
So last week we covered the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. This week we're covering Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious.
Oh my
The worst title ever. The worst title, but one of my favorite of the whole
Nah,
series.
in my opinion, the fate of the Furious is way worse than.
At least they incorporated like the number 8 into the word. I mean, Fast and Furious still probably could have gone with like Fast Fours. Who gives a shit? We'll get there. But let's just get started with the oddball, the black sheep. The one most people say is the worst, but I say a lot of those people are wrong. Tokyo Drift. Santino, why are most people wrong?
I love Tokyo Drift, honestly. I like it because it's a nice side story and we get a new character by Sean. And and um
And Bow Wow and Lil Bow Wow was in the movie.
Bow Wow, and the girl's also pretty hot. I forgot her name.
Dude, she's gorgeous.
She's really hot. I like her. And honestly, like, I'm just being biased because I've been watching a lot of anime recently. I like the Japanese culture. I like Tokyo Drift because of that.
Yeah, it's like the rest of the movie, like the rest of the movies have different and exotic locations, but it's like there's just something
Magical
coming from someone who lives like in the United States. There's something just so like alluring about Tokyo that just every time I watch this movie or any movie that takes place like street level Tokyo, I just want to go visit so badly
Exactly.
and see how cool it is.
As someone who's visited Tokyo, it is as amazing as it's portrayed. Because Tokyo is awesome, and I like Tokyo. So like seeing the Japanese culture, like and the drifting culture, because like I like why, because it's a different form of street racing. Like it's a different world. Like they're not in on the roads. They're in buildings, so they're drifting there. Like, which is cool. It's like, oh, it's awesome, man. It's like, it's not like it's a rehash. In fact, it's like it's a new thing. It's a new culture, which is awesome. I do like it.
Yeah, I had a blast rewatching this one because it was like you said, it's like it's something new. It's new characters, it's a new environment, it's a new style of what they're doing with the cars. It's a new type. It's the new different types of cars where they're doing the drifting, and it introduces and like obviously this is before Han became like big with the rest of the movies, but it's like I thought Han was a pretty cool character, and okay, I'll give it. Lucas Black, he's not the strongest actor.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not. But you know what? I thought he was fine. Obviously, he didn't have the charisma that Paul Walker had. He was never going to.
Yeah, and his accent was kind of off-putting. Something
He's
on
like a typical Texan.
Yeah, but I don't mean to offend Texans, but like I was watching, I was like, yeah, dude, like, can you tone it down a bit? It reminded me honestly a bit of like Wanda in Age of Ultron. It was like,
Ooh.
yeah, I mean, like it's not bad, but it's like I noticed it, and I was like, oh well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like this is another movie where it's like there's no real depth to it. It's not a deep film. They're not deep. Yeah, well, okay, none of them are like massively like
None of them are deep.
introspectively
Yeah,
deep.
they're
It's like
fascinating.
this is still a pretty shallow film, but again, it's still fun. Like, this is another movie I've seen people who like just vitrionically hate this film. They're like, shit. Where's Paul Walker? I'm like, it's still fun. Like,
Yeah.
do you only watch these movies for Paul Walker? I think it's awesome watching them race and do the drifting.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, driving through Tokyo and whatnot. And it was fun. What's wrong with that?
And I liked the character of Han, before he was in the other movies.
I mean, they kind of made him it's kind of weird because the character we get presented with later doesn't seem like he would have morphed into this unless what happens in 6 really rocked his world. enough to kind of shake him to this, because it's like he didn't really seem like that big of a cheater, like that when they reveal that he's been stealing the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, but then again, what happens in 6 with when what's her face dies? Maybe that just rocked his whole foundation. Yeah, when Giselle died, maybe it just
because Gal Gadot played her.
What's that?
I only know her name because Gal Gadot played her before she was Wonder Woman.
Man, and a side tangent, even though we don't see her yet, I'll still say it now. Anyone who's like, oh, she's too small to be Wonder Woman, watch her in Fast and Furious. She is a fucking twig.
Yeah,
she put on plenty of weight for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she was really thin in Fast and Furious.
Dude, she was like a stick. You could have like broken her.
Yeah, she was really thin. But
with this movie.
Yeah. Back to this movie.
I don't know. I feel like almost Too Fast, Too Furious. I don't have much to say.
No. Okay. I'll say a bit more. What I like about Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is, the character development that Sean gets. Because like remember at the beginning, Sean was like this rebel who lived with his mom in Texas and like and was this bad kid who like raised and destroyed property and all that. And when he moves with his
by the way, that was an awesome race, I thought, at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, like to get the girl, was like, okay, yeah, it's awesome. And
that girl was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was gorgeous too. But in my opinion, what made Sean was this bad kid because he thought being a delinquent was cool. And then when Han dies in that race, he gets killed, he realizes, oh shit, this is what criminal activity can get you. I can actually get killed by people like this, which is why I profess that Han shouldn't have died that Han shouldn't have been resurrected in F9, because that was character development for Sean. It just so happened that Han was related to Dominic Toretto, and then we see his story after.
Oh, they retconned that with 4 though.
Yeah, they did. I know.
Because they didn't have to do. They didn't need to make this a far-flung future film.
Yeah, exactly.
They chose to after the fact, but it's like they didn't. No one was forcing them to make this movie like take place after 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, it's a weird timeline, I swear.
It doesn't make any sense. It's they made that choice afterwards because I think people really liked the character of Han, so they wanted to do more with him. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because I can't think
Han was
of
the coolest character out of all of them in this one.
Yeah, he really was.
Sean's a pretty bland protagonist. He's like, yeah, I guess.
I mean, Bow Wow, who played Twinkie, was kind of interesting to watch, playing like a little hustler at the school.
Yeah, and the girl was, fun to look at.
Neela was gorgeous, dude. She was just.
That makes you sound like such a bad person. Like the girl was pretty, but like Han was.
I liked her. I thought she had a kind of interesting backstory.
Yeah. Like
she lived with the boyfriend Takashi.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping at the end, like that, the race was the winner, stayed in Tokyo, the loser left. Yeah. I kind of was hoping they did a scene where Sean like made peace with Takashi and was like, "Dude, just you stay, but you don't just stop being an asshole or something." Yeah,
honestly, like let's stop stop being a dick, and then we can just like.
Because I would have preferred that. Like I'm not gonna lie. Whenever the antagonist like is a younger character and isn't like evil, I kind of like when they fix things and they like can become friends out of it and be like, see, you don't really have to hate me, and then they can kind of work things out. But it's like it was what it was. I mean, it's obviously never gonna be anything more than that. They're never gonna go back and be like, oh, Sean and Takashi became BFFs. Which that's fine, but I think it would have been just something at the end they should have thrown in, which like you said, it would have been more character development for Sean, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like that, he obviously had a problem. Like we saw at the beginning, he obviously had an issue with bullies. And I think that would have been good development showing he's come full circle where it's like he was able to face the bully, beat him, and then still give him and earn back the respect from him.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was cool seeing Sonny Chiba as the the Yakuza head.
I guess so.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I don't have much. Again, not a deep film.
Yeah,
just characters I enjoyed following. A nice, different experience. Again, living in America, anytime there's a movie that takes place like in another country where I get a little more culture, I always have an interesting time watching it.
But other than that, man, it's not exactly groundbreaking.
It's not high art.
Yeah, it's just a movie.
A fun movie.
Yeah.
So I guess
for Tokyo Drift.
That's it for Tokyo Drift. And now jumping to what I always call basically the reboot of this franchise, where, like we've said, you kind of could just start here and be like, yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are like prequels to this movie. Because this is really where the story itself, the continuing story begins.
Even if we're being honest, 3 was like a far-flung sequel.
Yeah, 3 was like a prequel yet a sequel at the same time. It was made before 4, but it took place 3 movies later. But no, so Fast and Furious, this is literally one of my favorite of the whole series. I absolutely love this movie.
Oh, why? Why, Chad? Like, give me an answer.
Because you know what? It doesn't. Okay, so you know how, like we've said, 1, 2, and 3 really focused on the cars.
Yeah.
This movie drops that shit. This movie just goes straight for story.
Yeah, I agree. This is where it started getting good.
And I mean, think about it. All the first couple movies started with, kind of like decent action scenes. The hijacking of the gas truck, you have to admit, that was awesome and a perfect way to start the movie.
I agree.
And then it's, I kind of like how it does. It just picks up after, everyone got out of LA. The only thing that makes me wonder is, what movie was Michelle Rodriguez doing that she basically only made a cameo in this? Like, what happened that they were just like, yeah, show up for the beginning and then we're gonna kill your character? Like, what was she busy with? And when did this came out in 2009? What was she busy with at the time?
Resident Evil?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I don't know either. Okay.
I mean, let me see. Okay, well, she was in Avatar that year. Okay, yeah, I guess if she...
Avatar, that movie was so forgettable that I didn't even know she was in it.
She was the helicopter pilot.
Oh.
You're like, oh, yes. You're like, yeah, that word, that answers the question. Yeah, maybe it's because of Avatar. I don't know, because I don't know why they would have wanted to kill her character off. But hey, because obviously at the time they weren't like, oh, let's kill her off and then we'll bring her back in 6. I mean, these movies get made up movie by movie, essentially.
Yeah,
these are not planned out.
They're making shit up as they go.
Which is, you know what? We've said it before. Nowadays, at least, when trilogies are planned out, they usually fuck them up unless they're like adapted from books.
Right.
Which even then, sometimes they fuck them up.
Right.
So it's like, and as we saw with Friday the 13th, it's almost better when they just make them up movie to movie. But no, what I like about this one is it really does it drops the bro gearhead shit, and it just goes straight for like Paul Walker back, and it really does feel like it becomes more of a serious character film, if that makes sense. Like, Dom's on his revenge quest. Brian is busy with his mission, trying to take down Braga, and at the same time trying to reconnect with Dom and Mia and fix the mistakes he made. I like how this movie literally does so much more for Brian's character.
And like I said with my previous review in The Fast and the Furious, this was where the brotherhood really began. Like they meet in the Fast and the Furious, but the brotherhood really begins here, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just in my opinion, you know.
Well, like a scene that I love is when Dom finds out that Letty, that Brian was running Letty or whatever, like, and he blames him for her getting killed and beats the shit out of him. And it's funny because like there was no way Brian was ever gonna compete with Vin Diesel. He's sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure Paul Walker had a fine build, but sorry, Vin Diesel was like twice his size.
Dude, yeah, he really was.
But I just love that when Brian is just like, dude, she was doing it for you. She was doing it in the hopes in exchange for clearing your name. And it's like, I love that because it's like that they said it earlier when he was talking to him and he's like, you know, Letty was my friend too. And Vin Diesel was like, she wasn't your fucking friend. What are you talking about? And like that right there answers it. Like she probably like, I don't remember, but it's like, she probably came to him and was like, I love Dom. I want to bring him home. Is there anything I can do? And it's like, I like that because this is when the series felt like it started taking itself more seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
And just, the introduction of Gal as Giselle. I like that. How she
I
was
like
kind of
Giselle's
like
character. I like Giselle as a character.
Yeah, and it's like, I love how they like, I'll save that for Fast 5.
Yeah.
But, it's like I've seen people say like this is one of the worst ones, and I've never understood why people say that.
Yeah, it's not one
they
of
say
the
this one is boring. I'm like, what's boring about this movie?
it's not boring at all. It in fact it's a step up from the other
three.
The other three. Yeah, exactly. It finally, like, this is what I like about it. It finally opened up the world to more possibilities than just street racing.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was a revenge film for Dom. This was him finding out who killed the woman he loved and getting his revenge no matter what.
Right, exactly.
And this was also Paul Walker again, Brian O'Connor, trying to once again like redeem himself in the FBI, and then realizing, you know what? As much as I love my career, these people, Dom, Mia, these are my this is my family now. Like, I've got to watch out for and protect them. And I loved watching him fix things with Mia by not just saying it, but by like showing her how much he does care about them.
Yeah,
you know?
and it even like it comes full circle when Dom is in prison and he sees Brian driving to break him out.
Yeah, and I finally loved seeing Mia get behind a wheel for once.
Yeah, for once. That's the only time she does it.
And they don't even do anything. But I will give it. That is a damn good hook for the end of this film. Like, I wasn't watching these in theaters back then.
Yeah.
But it's like, for anyone who did, that had to have been a good hook. Like, Dom's going off to prison, which I thought was bullshit. Total bullshit. He helped bring down Braga, and his thank you was, we're still sending you to prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's
like, wow, you couldn't cut this guy a single deal.
Yeah.
But I just love that. It's like, you're watching, it's kind of like, oh, damn. It's like, Brian and Mia are safe. But then suddenly, bam, they show up in the cars, and the two dudes from the beginning who were there to help steal the gas truck show up.
Yeah.
I was like, what a great way to end this movie and make you be like, shit, I can't wait. Like, this was the only one that made you go, holy shit, I can't wait for the next one.
Exactly. This is the only.
Actually, this is probably the only one of the entire franchise that makes me go, I can't wait for the next one.
So the next one's the best one of all of them. The next one, honestly, is, in my opinion, the
best. Easily. Fast 5 is amazing. But yeah, again, just it's not too. There's just these characters just are not deep character study films, and there's just like no like symbolism or themes to these films that ever like really go over.
Yeah, there's not like The Godfather, where it's like these deep themes of family. Like, no, it's not. It's basically.
I mean, it's basic family stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty
but it's
simple.
nothing deep enough to like uber dive into.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, what I like the most about this one is, like I said, it started taking itself seriously as a movie that dropped the whole, hey, these people are just here to see cars drive around
Yeah,
and do
so
car
that's what I like
stunts.
about it. It evolved. It evolved.
Which works because not all franchises can do that. Some can, some can't. And this was one that, this was one step in a direction, and Fast Five will take it in another direction. And same with Fast Six. And then that's when the repetition began, it feels like.
Right, exactly.
So, do you have much to say about this film, or we wrap it up?
It's basically Fast and Furious 4 is basically better than the first three, but it still hasn't hit that point of like, you know,
Maxed out.
maxed out. Yeah, that's Fast Five in my opinion.
Oh, easily. I mean, shit. We'll get into five in the next episode, but I mean, I know people who like hate the rest of these movies, and even they say Fast Five is amazing.
Yeah, I know. Ah,
So that wraps up. That wraps up Fast and Furious. So we're next week we'll be at the midway point of the franchise.
yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. Fun
So
ride.
far, yeah.
So guys, I'm wrapping it up. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next week with Fast and the Furious 5, and next week Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6.
Yep. See you then.